friends, we are going to visit the Farmington Police Department. I'm so excited. I hope you're ready. Let's go. All right, friends, we have just made it to the Farmington Police Department here in Farmington, Connecticut. And I think there's a police officer pulling up right now.
Miss Robbie's class. We're all doing well this morning. Thanks for stopping down for a tour of the Farmington Police Department. My name is Officer Martin, and I'm going to be the one that's giving you the tour. However, before we go inside, I just want to show you my uniform and what I have on my belt, and I heard you guys like boots, so we'll show you the boots. So, first of all, walkie-talkie. We obviously need this to communicate with both each other and our dispatch. When we get calls, when we have to go to calls, we get told through our radio, and that's how we communicate back with the police department, so we know where we're going and what we're actually going to. We're also able to communicate with other agencies like the state police and even fire departments. Also in here, obviously we have handcuffs. I have 2 pairs of handcuffs there. And then other things, obviously I always have my handcuff key on me. Right. So I didn't shine them up this morning, unfortunately for you, but these are my boots, and typically we have a nice shine on these toes here. It looks like I got to work on that.
Oh my goodness, we have to see that again. Look at Officer Martin's super cool real police officer boots.
All right. So before we actually start the tour, I just want to talk about the importance of staying in school, attending class, and making sure that you do it on time. Always make sure that you're going to class, you're going to school, you're participating in class, get to know your teachers, your peers, make good friends, but also listen to what your teacher has to say, because everything they say is very important. All right, so now we'll begin our tour.
That's right. Just like Officer Martin said, coming to school every day and on time is very important. I wonder if they have class in the morning too.
So welcome to the Farmington Police Department. Straight ahead you have dispatch, and to your right you'll see our records division. Alright, so next up we have what's called our roll call room. So this room right here is where all the policemen come and the policewomen, they sit down, and then you have what's called your shift supervisor stand up here and basically tell all the police officers either what's happening for that day, what district they're assigned to, the cars they should be driving, and possibly things to be looking out for. If there's one thing that you'll notice about how this is set up is probably very similar to what you guys are all in right now, which is a classroom. So as you can see, being a student, and like I said before, it's very important because things like that will follow you forever, including in roll call, which we do every morning before every shift.
Would you look at that, friends? Right where Officer Martin is standing is where the shift supervisor would be standing, or the teacher of the classroom. And this is the police officer's classroom. Look, they have tables and chairs and a clock just like our classroom. All the police officers come in here in this classroom every morning, and they have roll call like Officer Martin just said. That's just like us doing morning meeting every day.
All right, so the next place we're going to go to is the Detectives Processing Lab. And I'm going to hand you off to Detective Hughes, who's going to give you a quick tour.
Hi, how you doing? This is where we process all the evidence we collect from crime scenes. We have computers, we have fingerprint processing equipment, we have cameras and flashlights and all kinds of stuff like that.
Hold on. Let's take a look at the difference between a real detective like Detective Hughes and a cartoon detective. See, Detective Hughes doesn't have to wear gloves and hats and coats every day. I'm sure he does when he has to go outside to a crime scene. But look, just like one of our dads or uncles or brothers, he's a regular person wearing a vest and a button-down shirt.
This is our dispatch center. This is where 911 calls are answered when people need help, and where police officers are sent to calls. You can see there's a lot of computers in here, telephones, radios, and all sorts of other equipment to direct police officers, firefighters, and ambulances where to go.
Oh, there is no way we can't look at that again. Just like the police officer said, this is the communications unit. So when we call 911 for help or an emergency, this is where our phone calls would be answered. Men and women that work here have to have really good listening ears to be able to send the police officers to the right place to help us. Look at all the computers, keyboards, tablets, telephones, and radios that they have to use. Wow! Looks like a call is coming through now. Let's listen.
Medic 16, Medic 17, AMR 324, 7 Delta, hot response, 496 Plainville Avenue. Your cross streets are Lake Garda and Coppermine, the Ranch Acres group home. Responding for a female party, abnormal vital signs.
Whoa, that was amazing. Now let's see what police officers bring with them and what they ride in when they come to help somebody.
Hi, Miss Robbie's class. I'm Officer Vitkus. I'm going to show you some of the stuff we carry in our police cruisers. So we have a lot of things back here to help people. So we have our medical supplies. This helps a lot of people that are in any sort of medical distress. We always go and help everybody that we see. We have a fire extinguisher in case there's a fire. We have a fun little raft to throw to people in case somebody's struggling when they're swimming. And we also have a nice little tool here that helps people that get locked out of their cars.
Wait a second. Do you see what I see? Officer Vidkis is a woman or a girl police officer, and Officer Hughes and Officer Martin are men or boy police officers. Wow, that just shows you that you can be a police officer whether you are a boy or a girl.
So this is one of our newest patrol cars. We're going to show you the inside where the police officer drives. It looks kind of like a regular car, but it's got a computer, our police walkie-talkie radio to talk to each other. This controls the lights and the siren. We have a printer, camera for taking pictures, and back here is where the bad guy sits.
Ooh, let's take a closer look at this back seat where the prisoner or the person being taken away in the police car will be sitting. Look how hard the seats are. They are not soft and cushiony like the seats that we sit in when we ride in the car. The seat belts also go in different directions than in our cars that we ride in. And look, there's a big black barrier that separates the policeman or woman that is driving the cruiser and the person that is being taken away because they're not using their listening ears or their gentle hands. But what happens when they get taken away? I wonder where they go. Maybe Officer Martin can tell us about that.
Morning, Miss Robbie's class. So this morning I'm going to give you a quick tour of the cells inside, both the booking cell and then I'll show you guys our holding cells, all right? So come on back with me. All right. So right here we have what's called a booking cell. So we'll bring the person into here, we'll shut this door behind them, and then we go around here. We go into the computer and we start the booking process.
Oh man, I have to see that in slow motion. Look, this is the holding cell. So officers like Officer Martin or Officer Vidkis will put the person that has just been brought in wearing handcuffs into the holding cell because they don't know how to use their gentle hands right now and they don't want anybody else to get hurt by them. So they can sit crisscross applesauce if they would like on the bench or stand.
Part of the booking process includes going onto this machine right here. So this machine is actually where you would take your fingerprints, both where you would just roll your thumb and just put your fingerprints right down on the screen.
Hey, what's that sound? I wonder if there's anybody else that works with the police officers.
How you doing? I'm Officer Kyle Mortensen with Farmington Police Department. This is K9 Ozzie. K9 Ozzie is a 1-year-old Belgian Malinois. We use him to find people, whether they're missing or they're a bad guy. He also protects me and all my fellow officers. This is our K9 Cruiser. If you guys want to take a look in the back seat, you can see where Ozzie stays. It's a special car just for him.
See, what makes this car special is that, yes, there's no back seat. Ozzie doesn't need to sit on a seat because it makes it easier for him to jump in and out of the vehicle if he needs to. Also, if there was a back seat, his water bowl would spill.
The whole back seat, all his. He's got his water bowl back there and windows open up and everything. I'll show you guys some of the equipment that we use to train Ozzie. This is Ozzie's vest. Just like I wear a vest every day when I go to work, this Ozzie wears sometimes when we go on dangerous calls. He doesn't like wearing it. It's big, heavy, uncomfortable, but we gotta keep him safe. A couple toys that we use for Ozzie. This is one of his tug toys that he gets when he does a job well done. Ozzie, sit. Good. Live. Live. Yes. Good boy. You gotta see how bad he wants that toy. He loves it. Good boy. Good boy. His other favorite toy is his ball here. Let's see which one he likes more. Looks like the ball.
Whoa, did you see how high Ozzie just jumped? Let's watch that again in slow motion. And then let's see how hard he can pull.
Crazy dog.
Now, Ozzie has big ears to hear if somebody is calling for help, but let's see if those ears are good at listening and following directions.
Stick it. Stick it. Stick it. Stick it. Yes. Oh. It's good. Goose. Goose. Nuts. Nuts. Live.
Thank you very much for visiting us here at the police department. And again, I'm really happy you guys stopped by, and I hope you have a great holiday season and a great rest of the year.
Man, that was great! I hope you enjoyed our field trip. I would like to thank everybody from our field trip, like Officer Mortensen and Ozzie, Call Center Responder Miss Call, Officer Vidkiss, Detective Hughes, Officer Martin. We also want to say a very special thank you to all of the police officers and canines at the Farmington Police Department, along with Chief Manelson and Sergeant Vincent. Well, friends, that is the end of our field trip. Thank you so much, Farmington Police Department, for letting us come. And as I always say, friends, I'll be back with more videos.